We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Please Understand podcast. As you know, this is Minnesota Sports. Three casuals here breaking down all the goings on in the Minnesota sports landscape. Pretty heavily dominated today with Minnesota Timberwolves talk. Going to come right out and say that up top. That's going to be the majority of the agenda tonight. Post NBA trade line edition or trade deadline edition. You know, it's gonna we have a saying around here. Usually, as soon as we record a pod, the news changes and everything gets weird. But you would think, you know, we plan this one specifically to be current. So the fact that there is a deadline, you'd think, all right, we should be good for a little while. So we'll get into all the trades, all the non-trades. Giannis, what a fucking bunch of nonsense that ended up being. And then Kwesi was weird. I don't even know when. That's kind of just already become like old news. Off season, was it inevitable anyway? So we'll try to touch on that at the end. Waste Management Open going on as well. Kicked off today. We've been doing the one and done on the Wednesday pods with our picks, so we'll get to those as well. We already submitted those yesterday, but for those that are keeping track at home, honestly, just Jake, not even me, Phil, but I'm sure all the listeners. We'll come out with our picks for that also. Yeah, doing a lot of the legwork. Honestly, it's the spreadsheet. It's colorful. There's lots of numbers. Seems to me like
does it even make sense?
So
no,
we do appreciate it. Do I know what I'm looking at? No, I think one of the main traditions we have with that is every week we do the picks, and then I screw up the simple math of like, who did we actually end up with? And then Jake corrects me. So we got that coming. So busy pod. Everybody pull up a chair. We've got a few folks in the live stream. Throw some questions in the chat. We'll try to get to all those. Give the people what they want, essentially, is what we're here to do. So, gentlemen, I'll throw this out. Do we want to talk Dosunmu? Do we want to go Giannis first? Where are you guys thinking at for this one? Do we want to go reality or just the made up shit that consumed our lives for like the better part of a week or two? What do you guys want to talk about first?
I might as well talk with the good news, the stuff that we did get.
Yeah, so let's go Io Dosunmu. I've been practicing his pronunciation most of the day. Yeah. There's a couple tweets out there that were very helpful with that. So thank you to those who made life for my dumb ass a little bit easier. But picked him up along with Julian Phillips. Don't let that get swept under the rug. Sent out Rob Leonard in 4 seconds. I believe that was the trade. A lot of the deadline stuff, sometimes then it'll be like, actually, it was this with some cash, and then a third team will hop in. Well, I don't know if maybe some of that comes out in the wash, but that's the bulk of the trade. Wasn't Giannis. We were kind of, I don't know. At the end of the day, it was like, do we want him? Do we want to give up our favorite guys? But we at least wanted to get some help for this bench, which has just been leaking oil ever since we lost Nikhil. So I guess, Jake, I'll go to you first. Instant reaction on the trade this morning.
I loved it. This is the exact trade I've been preaching on this for the last month, is to get help at the guard position on the bench. This is one of like 2 or 3 guys I wanted, and it cost us absolutely nothing. No offense to Rob and who else did we trade? I don't even remember. Lenny. Sorry, how could you forget Lenny?
Big Len, dog.
Come on.
Oh, yeah, we traded 0 minutes out of the rotation for a guy who's going to fit right in probably to that 7th spot. I mean, we did lose Mike too, but he might be coming back still. I don't know. We'll see. But I absolutely love this trade. I think it's perfect. It's all that we needed to do. Eventually, off season, I bet the big trade comes. But for right now, this is the way to go, I think, at the deadline.
Yeah. I'm thrilled about it. He's a much better shooter than I thought. 26 fits the timeline. I love that we're able to get him right before free agency, because he's due to be a free agent this year. So now we own like the rights to his contracts, and it's just a great move. It's a good Tim move. I know a lot of people probably would, if they had to choose their Bulls guard, it would have been Kobe White. But I mean, this guy maybe is even a better all-around player. So Kobe White obviously can fill it up on the offensive end, but it's funny. He comes in and immediately becomes our best free throw shooter, which is hysterical.
Low bar.
He's
Better than Rudy.
I mean, 85% from the line, like another guy flirting with a 50, 40, 90 on the squad. And we were already a really good 3-point shooting team. So he just might have put us right near the top of that. So love it. I don't know when he'll play, but I'm really looking forward to when he joins the squad, joins the lineup.
Yeah. I mean, we had to have somebody. And I feel like, to me, this was a pretty cheap price. I know there were some people like 4 seconds, or like, I feel like some people on X were thinking it might have been a little steep. I'm just looking at players today. I guess you could like go back and be like, well, what we gave up to get Rob to then throw into this. Mm-hmm. Let's get to that in a second. But like four second round picks.
I think 3 of those weren't even ours, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, if you ever follow the draft and you get into the second round, which shout out to Adam Silver, way to make round 2 a night of its own. That was fucking sweet for everyone. But the whole night is just like trading around. You can go pick up 2 seconds in 35 minutes, right? So giving 4 away means nothing to me. This is all about like the Rob situation. Sure, bad trade. No one's going to dispute that. You could maybe argue a little bit and be like, did he get the true chance here? Is there a Finchy development thing? We can listen to that, but ultimately he's gone. And you flipped him into something pretty good. And like you mentioned, like the bird rights part of this sounds like very good chance that we can not only, add to our bench here, but keep him in the next, 3-4 years, whatever the contract ends up being. So I'm not really tripping off the price at all. Like I am kind of like interested to see, can Leonard play? Is Rob even going to play on the Bulls? Like they got like 8 guards. So it's like, I don't even know if we're going to get that answered, but
dude, Lenny's their tallest player now. They have like no bigs.
Yeah. We knew all along. No, and then just to that too, like seeing Leonard go, it's like I saw Minot got traded as well. Like everyone's like, well, look at, we didn't develop him. It's like, dude, he's already getting passed around like a Philly blunt. But the other part of this too, like relating to the Rob piece, where like let Tim cook. He missed up on that trade. And we talked about the bird rights. One of the biggest things about, like, as I evaluate Tim Connolly, we always try to have faith in Tim. He definitely seems like his strong suit is manipulating and like maneuvering around like the aprons and the cap and all of that shit. Like, to me, that's like his biggest strength. Like, he got out in front of the Carl trade. Like, that was executed perfectly. Like, I think we can pretty clearly say we came out ahead in that trade. As we heard Carl getting shopped around, even though many of us would have been just fine seeing Julius on a plane out of town, but he's still contributing. So like all the maneuvering of like how this had to happen was like, we had to trade Mike for nothing, get below the first apron, be able to like take on more money than we brought back in this trade. So there's all these little maneuvers that he did. So to me, in the second apron world, that's a pretty nice strength to have. But is his talent evaluation specifically in rookies in the draft? Like, to me, that definitely is a big, TBD on that. But, we're not really drafting too high up anyway. We've got a lot of picks that we don't even have. So it's like, I guess you can kind of nitpick. It'd be nice to be able to like the Terrence Shannon pick, if still waiting to see what he's going to end up being, even as like a 25-year-old. But, you'd like to be able to pluck somebody in those late rounds, and I feel like I need to go back through all our podcast feeds and like erase all the shit I said about Jalen Clark, because he looks like he is just terrible. But like just being able to, add little pieces like that. But overall, the trade, I mean, this is exactly what you want. I know there's some clamoring still about like true point guard. Like, I feel like, that's bones. What more do you want to see after watching last night? Like, and he's shown that he's had good games against OKC. So
yeah.
I feel like this is exactly what we need. And there was just all throughout today, the timeline on X, a lot of people like, man, I really love this move for the Wolves. Like, one after another, people chiming in on that. So I think, credit to Connolly. for, no GM is going to be perfect. Like there's Rob mistakes. We all would have I feel like you could have done some things different to keep N'Keal, but we kind of okay, maybe that was a mistake. And now we're making that up. And we've just kind of got a different guy in that role now starting hopefully tomorrow. I haven't heard when these trades clear through, and then we're going to find out on Sunday afternoon if he's up for a noon or a matinee game.
Yeah,
we'll really know then.
That's the biggest thing in the whole trade. I think my first question was, does he try all the time? I mean, not everybody does. It's a tired argument, but
it's real.
But no, I mean, his shooting percentages, his assist to turnovers. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. Everything points to good things for him. It's nice to now have 3 guys off the bench you can trust, instead of just, really it was just kind of 1 before Bones, got his opportunity. We'll see if Mike comes back, if he gets plugged right back in. But
let's go to that here quick.
Yeah,
so that was the next point. He was the first domino to fall, getting rid of him from kind of a weird trade. The graphics were always funny where it was like Bulls get this and Pistons get this and Timberwolves, it was just blank. And then of course we did get our precious cash considerations reported later on, but kind of a chess piece. Everyone was assuming this is a pave the way for Giannis type of a move. And maybe that did still play a part in that, but I think it was just like let's get out of these aprons to allow maximum flexibility. But so Mike then gets moved, speaking of Philly blunts, a lot of guys getting passed around here in the last couple of days, but he then goes to Charlotte, gets waived. And now Jake, is he coming back? It seems like, did he even leave physically?
Yeah. He's just on vacation.
Right.
He's got a little PTO this week. That's all that really happened. Get to visit a couple other teams. I don't know, man. It sounds like he might. We get to, instead of paying him $10 million, it's going to be, I think, like $875 vet minimum for the contract. So that's fine because we only have we're just short under $2 million to stay under this first apron, which I think is going to be the plan. So it's going to be 2 vet contracts that we sign here. So I think Mike's one of them. Then hopefully we can get lucky. We can sign somebody that's wants to come play for a contender too. That'd be hopefully a nice 8th piece off this bench.
Yeah. What are some of those names that are out there floating around right now, Hags? I don't know if do you have a list in front of you, or do you?
Not really. I've just been kind of looking who could potentially hit. Cam Thomas got released today, and that's one of the weirdest.
That is so surprising.
Is he the biggest douche in the world? No one wants this guy, even for he hit a free agency and I think got no kind of a contract. And I was like, I know he's a chucker, but he can definitely score. I mean, we saw that when he came into Target Center a month or 2 ago. So I don't know about him, and he's almost a guy where it's like, man, do you want to throw that guy in there? I mean, we got a couple guys that really like to get their shots up. So, but I mean, as an option off the bench, sure, I would think about that.
If you need somebody to come in and provide some energy and try to get a spark, because that's kind of what Bones is doing right now.
Yeah.
But if you just are having one of these nights where it's like, who's going to come in here and fill it up when we need it? It's always good to have another option. So,
for sure. Yeah.
I don't know that he'll be that option, but it is an interesting name.
Because when you go through our bench now, let's just so it's Nas, you've got Bones, you've got Dosunmu. That's your 8-man rotation. Mm-hmm. I guess you got to throw Mike in there, even it's not official yet, but it's come on, Chris, they're not gonna have that happen. So there's your 9th guy. But then after that, if we're talking in the playoff minutes, you can't play Jalen Clark in a playoff series. That's just not serious. Baron J should be playing as another center option. Right. I was furious about that last night. You mentioned playing hard. We're back into our habit of punt the first half, see how the third goes, and then fight like hell in the fourth and see if we can scrap one out. And it's that to me it just pisses me off so much. So let's just make sure we don't play the one guy who hustles the whole time. Just had me livid in that first half that you couldn't find 5 minutes for that dude as Julius is baby stepping his way back in transition. Just an atrocity of a coaching job by Chris Finch. But So you kind of have your 8-9 guys there. Conley, like, if you're bringing him back, put his ass on ice for like a month. I shouldn't probably use that phrase around here, but like, you don't need him right now. Like, if you are determined to have him be an impact player at some point and you love his leadership and all this, like, by the way, that hasn't really translated between the lines. So, like, just let him be on the bench. And then if he make sure he's at least fresh when the playoffs come around. Like, so that's what I'd be doing. But as far as buyouts, like, I've seen Cam Thomas, I think Kevin Love might be out there. Some of these like older dudes. I've even seen like, DeRozan potentially. I don't know how that fits in here, but it's like, shit, like I'll take a talented guy who can carry a offense for an 8-minute stretch, against bench players in the playoffs. Like, so I think the buyouts, I think that's going to probably be a lot of what goes on, like in the next week through the All-Star break. And then we'll see, like, if there's like the Cam Thomas one was a surprise, I thought, but some of these teams don't want to win at all. So it's like, we're tanking now. It's as good a draft as we've seen probably since 2003. And I think there's going to be some teams being like, dude, we can't have you here. You're a little too talented for our goals. So maybe another guy. I think Mike's for sure. And then I know, Jake, you were saying all this maneuvering with the bench just to bring back Mike and Kyle Anderson. Is Kyle coming back? He was another name I saw.
Almost be too perfect.
Oh my God. Imagine X.
I mean, you're probably looking, if you're going to bring Mike back, then you probably are looking for some sort of a big man depth. Like
four.
It's funny. We were just mentioning all these old Wolves, but like Kyle Anderson, Kevin Love. I don't know if
Ryan Gomes
if Nurkic gets released. That's an interesting name. He's been playing pretty well for Utah.
I don't know what they're up to. Like, they were buyers. And it's like, you just lost out on Cooper and Knipple, two of the best possible guys you could have had in Utah. And now they're like, let's just win now. It's like, the fuck? So who knows? But yeah, Nurkic is he's exactly what you'd think for buyout of, like, he's throwing triple doubles around for a week. And
is
that what you want? Is that what you want as you head into this lottery? But then the other part of it is, like, the lottery isn't what it was. Teams are jumping 10 spots almost every fucking year. And it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to be like top 3 worst. It feels like that's almost, you're being punished nowadays because silver's a snake and it's rigged anyway. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see A, who's available, and then B, how like appealing is this Wolves team for like ring chasers and stuff, because it's usually like Miami, Lakers, Nick, like some of those bigger markets usually get first dibs, but it's like,
go to Miami.
Is that really where you want to go?
Miami. Like, I understand, like, not for a ring chaser. That's
this year.
Sure. They're not doing anything.
Yeah, maybe Boston could be a spot.
Yeah.
I don't know about Cleveland, but yeah. I think, yeah. So what did they say? We have we have the ability to add 2 guys and then 1 because Mike. So I mean, he's going to be here. Do you guys all agree on that? I think feels like that's like already done. That could almost be coming back in a tampering situation for us at some point.
I think there should be. I think like I've seen on X and just kind of around, they should do like a welcome back video or something. I think they have the chance to do something real funny because, like, man, it was so sad when he got traded. Like, for basketball purposes, it's fine. I think people understand that, but for him getting traded, it was like just like a funeral on Twitter.
Yeah. And he will have not even. Well, I guess they won't be able to do this in time. It'd be great if they could get this done by tomorrow night's game and have him not even miss 1 home game while this all has happened and have it all waiting for him. But the other part would be funny too is what if like Dosunmu takes number 10 and then Mike has
I was just thinking that
and he has to pivot or something like that. That would be hilarious. But or at least like I'd be like, man, pay up. Pay up, Unc. I know you made some money in the league. So overall, I think great move, helping the bench and the depth. But now it's a matter of this is on Finch now to make sure you're playing guys. Like, great game out of Bones last night, but how often do we see him then just get the quick hook and he doesn't even appear in the next game until 9 minutes left in the second quarter? And you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, what more do you need to see? Right? Like, somebody showed like the game log of him when Conley sits, and he's averaging like 17 points a game. I mean, it's just outrageous incompetence out of Finch. That's the other thing is like, even with improving the roster, it's like, can we overcome his shitty coaching? Not so sure. But we can tackle that on every pod for the rest of history. But well, if you had to do trade grades, everybody likes a grade the same day as a trade, as well as the mock draft a year away. What are you giving this as a grade, Jake?
A+, man. This is exactly almost to who I wanted and for what I wanted to give up. So this is A+ to me. You couldn't have gone better.
What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, he was a name that was definitely mentioned for weeks on end. It was him and it was Kobe White. It was like one of those two Bulls guards. So we actually, Twitter was actually right for once, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Before we talk about Giannis, of course.
Yeah, that's coming up next. But yeah, I mean, we've been cyberbullying a lot of these teams into doing what we want on X as fan bases. Dalton Reisner, what up? Gear Up 14, what up, man? He's wondering, do you think it was the wrong play to trade Mike when we might bring him back anyway, just to trade for Ayo? If we bring him back, would you rather have had Kobe instead of? So I think point being is like, you could have just got Kobe White probably in that Mike trade, I think. I don't know, man. I feel like Ayo has a little more versatility on both ends of the floor. Mm-hmm. And then maybe it's just a scenario where it's also easier to re-sign Dosunmu this offseason than Kobe White. It seems like he's going to maybe demand a little more cheddar out on the market, but he's also going to another situation where he's like right back to being on the bench in Charlotte. So I don't know. I feel like, what do you think about that? Ayo versus Kobe White. Now that this is all transpired.
I think like you said, I think Kobe White's probably going to get paid starter money and Ayo probably won't. So that's kind of just, can he start? Sure. But the money is Kobe White's just going to get paid more money. And for what we're looking for, Ayo's just a better fit. Like you said, versatility and all the things that come with it. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, same thing. Kobe was another guy on the list of mine, obviously, but I think going into next season, he's going to be way more expensive and maybe not even able to afford him. And also, the trade was done to try and get Giannis first. It was clearing Giannis space. It wasn't get rid of Mike and try and get Kobe. It was get rid of Mike so we can have space to make a Giannis trade in the first place. We didn't even think about Mike coming back until he had got traded a second time, because it's not even allowed for him to be released and sign with us after being traded to a team. So he had to get traded twice for that to even happen. So to predict that, Tim may have a crystal ball, but I don't think he can see that far into the future. So
if he can,
crazy circumstances, but it ended up being
where's our championship?
The right path.
If he can see into the future like that, it is most certainly illegal what he is doing. And the other thing about Kobe White, and I had these thoughts because we've been linked to him now for, he's a point guard, so we are, we're all obviously in need of one still, some people say, but as a degenerate, better DraftKings player, so on and so forth, man, that dude's fucking hurt all the time. So that's a thing where I was like, dude, if we watch us get him and he'll have a hammy or something, or like he's been in and out of that lineup all year. So I'm like, I don't want to be putting all our eggs in his basket and only to have him not be available. So good get with Ayo, and we'll continue to work on his pronunciation, and I probably still have screwed it up, but keep making plays and we'll figure it out, bud. But yeah, it'd be nice to get him in here on Friday night. So let's talk Giannis. Jake, what are you feeling about it? Disappointment? Is it relief? Are you butthurt about how it all shook out? Was it all big tease? Like, now that it's over, what are your thoughts?
When it was all happening, it was pretty exciting at first. I was like, this kind of sweet, getting one of the top players in the NBA to pair up with Ant. Awesome, great idea. Then it started coming out of what we have to give up. I know obviously it was going to be Jaden, which sucks, but to get a more improved Jaden McDaniels is fine by me because it's Giannis. But then it's like we might also have to trade Nas off to get some picks because that's what the Bucks want. It's like by eventually all said and done, it's going to be like Julius and Nas and Jaden all for this. It's like that's just way too much. We ain't deep like that. I want to keep this core together. So probably about 2 days ago, I started turning and be like, no, I don't want anything about this. So I'm happy it didn't happen. It is nice to see that Tim Connolly's a big game hunter. He went after KD to start the season. Now he went after Giannis. So I bet maybe next offseason there's going to be something else happening in the works, I bet. So I'll just hold my breath in anxiety until the offseason then when this all starts up again. But as of now, I'm happy it didn't happen. Yes, it would have been sweet to have Giannis, but I think future-wise, we're better off with what we did today.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. It's like we were going through like stages of grief or something, stages of a trade. You know, we're excited but nervous, the anxiety, all for it. And like you said, and it was something on a Rachel Nichols had somebody on her podcast or whatever, and it was like, yeah, Julius will have to get traded for a first. Nas probably for a first. Now you take those two first and you send Jaden. It's like, what are we talking about? And then, you know, maybe you have to include Yohan. It's like you realize we don't have a team left then, right? And Giannis wasn't going to play for like another month. So now what do you do? So I don't know. I never really like it would have been cool. It's one of those where you want to try to get something done without giving up a lot. But they clearly aren't going to move on from Giannis like that. And the other thing is he's been banged up a lot too this year. Yeah. What if he rushes back and he tears his Achilles? Because that calf stuff is nothing to play with. That was a big thing for me while I was thinking about it too. And I don't know. I kind of half expected once we made the Mike trade that Tim was maybe not just Giannis. Maybe he was just going big game hunting. But I'll tell you this. I really didn't want to end up with John Morant. And apparently nobody else in the NBA did either. So
not even the Kings
sticking around. Nobody. Yeah, no kidding. Nobody wanted him.
They wanted DeAndre Hunter instead.
Overall, though, I'm much happier. Like I'd rather just ride or die with Jaden and Nas and see what the offseason has to bring when you maybe can move a Julius or a Rudy or something like that.
Yeah, I mean the door isn't closed. Like this could
sure.
This could be all the talk over the summer again anyway. But I'm with you guys. I think I wanted another run with this group with a little more bench help, and let's see how things go. And like you said about Giannis, like, yeah, how gracefully is he going to age for a guy that just crashes into people and his whole game is like physicality. Like once that goes away, you know, but that's further down the line. But like you said, Jake, like shit, if you got a chance to get a guy like that, you you just do it, you know, and figure out the margins later on. So yeah, it's just I feel like we got yanked around a little bit. I like how Tim, you know, he's in the mix, right? Like he's involved. If there's a guy available, let's talk about it. And you know, maybe another takeaway is just like the way all this shit gets covered. Like how much bullshit was out on the timeline from all these people working, not Shams and Krasinski or any people that you actually should listen to. It's just all kinds of other clowns out there saying whatever the fuck they feel. And who knows how much truth there is to any of it. Because it seems like when we do deals, it comes out of left field. Then all of a sudden Krasinski will have a tweet. And sometimes it's like, you know, in collaboration with Shams. And there it is. Like, that's how the Rudy shit happened. Like, no one was thinking about that. So I like that we got our guys still. And it just has me thinking, I'm sure you guys did too, along the way, as this was like, you know, we're like, God, I don't want to lose our guys, especially to a Wisconsin team, but it's Giannis. And it's like, you know, like, how much is a title worth? Is it worth like getting rid of all your favorite players for the chance, like a couple year window with Giannis or however big the window would be? That's where it's like, God, it is a tough decision. but Tim doesn't give a fuck. Like,
No.
he's not playing favorites, or he doesn't care about any sentimental anything, which is exactly how you should operate. You're not a
yeah,
fan.
100%.
Like, you're running a business here. You're running a team. So it was just a whole lot of nothing in the end. And now even today, he's like, yeah, I might, let's build it around in Milwaukee. It's like, man, shut up with all that shit. Like, I'm not trying to hear you playing both sides now, trying to be like you didn't force your way out or something like that. I don't know, man. He's kind of a weird guy. Like, we saw it, that Trojan Instagram thing. It's like, what is this dude? But it would have been sick to get Thanasis in here on the bench, get a Thanasis trees. I'm not gonna. I guess you could custom any jersey. Just hang that up somewhere in your house. It'd be funny. You got a basement wall that you could. That would look nice down in your basement, Phil.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Thanasis Prince jersey.
No comment. Oh man,
he didn't say no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. At least he didn't go to like one of our competition in the West or something like that. That would have been the other thing, is like, if he did get traded, keep him out East. Like, I don't want you over here going to the Spurs or some shit like that.
Speaking of that, that was another thing, kind of, I don't know how much you guys want to cover, just like the West, but
yeah,
not a lot of teams really made moves in the West. I know, like,
okay,
hey, okay,
to the Lakers,
yeah.
Oh, bud.
Well, yeah, they needed one
ball?
more. They need one more token white guy on their team, so why not bring him on in? No, but Luke Kennard, and then the OKC trade. But other than that, like, the Spurs didn't do anything, Rockets didn't do anything, Nuggets, I think they maybe traded a player away to try to clear some room or something, but nothing significant,
shit,
which
was what some of that was. OKC did something really weird, but it wasn't
Jared McCain.
Nobody that's playing or anything. Who else? Yeah, Lakers, I guess.
Utah won ham.
Yeah, Utah. Yep.
It was like Utah, Wizards, like all these weird teams. The Warriors did get Porzingis, but is that guy like still? He has like the flu from like 2 years ago. Still, like, what's going on with that guy? I don't really know. They're trying to get like the 23 or what is it, 2024 Celtics front court. Like, good job, guys. But obviously, Quentin Post, untouchable. He stayed home. But it'll be nice to not hear about fucking Jonathan Kuminga ever again. Trade rumors, but big audience. We were all on pins and needles waiting to hear where he was going to end up. But yeah, the West, I think. Where do you guys think? Like, so now looking at the landscape, Jake, you feel better about our shot to come out of the West, or is this just like, hey, we've kind of got the team from last year and a little better bench. Let's see what up.
Yeah, it's pretty much what team wants to show up, I guess, every night. So it was Jace Frederick put out a sweet tweet. It was Wolves are 29-8. Oh wait, yeah, 29-8 when our defensive rating is sub 118, and then we're 2-12 when it's above that. So basically, we're a 64 win team if we just play defense as good as the Pelicans. So it's like not that hard of a bar to set. So we could be one of the best teams in the West if we wanted to, but of course we don't. We don't care. So we're going to settle for the middle. It's just, I think we can be, because we have the highest ceiling in the NBA as a team, but we also have the lowest floor in the NBA as a team too. So I don't know. It's just what team's going to show up. I think we can make a nice little run again. It's just a matter if we want to or not.
Yeah, 4-2 against OKC and San Antonio. So it's like, do you care? Then they're pretty good. Is it a weird Tuesday in January and you don't really give a shit about playing against the Nets or whatever? Then
at 3:30, yeah, nope.
Not interested.
We've had a lot of matinee games this year. It's been kind of strange. Yeah, I think that's that switch that we're always talking about. When does that switch flip or whatnot? And it does, it does in the important games. And we've covered this ad nauseum, like, all the time. But in the playoffs, it's just different. You have playoff risers. These guys, like, you don't have to worry about the 4 games in 5 days, the back-to-backs, all that stuff. Like, you have time off. You should be bringing it every night then. And it's a different effort come playoffs. And Jaden's a playoff riser, and obviously, and The other thing
Julius
is like
Fries.
these guys, yeah, exactly. These
Isn't that
guys
funny?
are better this year too. Like our core three,
Yeah.
Ant, Jaden, Nas, they're all better this year. So we could talk about the last couple of years, and we have kind of the same team. You know, you flip Ao instead of Na, and then what Bones probably instead of Mike. But like, what was Mike
And,
even giving you last year in the playoffs?
and a
Not a
better
whole lot,
Dante. Dante's been much better this year. He was so bad last year. I know he irritates
right?
a lot of people. Elite Goku, if you're out there in the chat, what up? But like, he's definitely been much better this year.
Yeah. So like, you put all those things together, and then just the progress, I guess, of our young players. I think they can still make a run for sure. It's just a matter of when are you going to run into Oklahoma City? That's the biggest thing. Otherwise, could Denver beat us? For sure. I just don't think the Spurs or Houston. I feel like we could beat either one of those teams. So I think it's kind of us, Denver, and OKC. So
Yeah.
can you get to the side of the bracket where somehow Denver and OKC meet up before you guys do? That's what trying in the regular season does for you.
Right. Which has been,
Right.
we lost count of how many times we've had to say that over the last 4 years. I mean, but that's just who they are, you know? So
Timberwolves basketball.
Finch, you get some blame for that too. Don't think you're skating away without that. But it sounds like, you know, we're not in the locker room, but it sounds like he does yell at these guys a lot, and they're just like, yeah, we just didn't listen to the game plan, whatever. Like, they know they're very talented. And last night in Toronto, like, that is just like formulating worse habits. Like, you got away with being fucking lazy for 3 quarters. Like, that's how good they are, and it just is infuriating. It makes the season just such a pain in the ass to watch when guys just don't really try. But then in the fourth quarter, you get just these amazing moments, and you're like, man, the highs and lows, man, it just drives me fucking crazy. And for the most part, I think, Jake, me and you have been talking about this for sure. I think, Phil, you might agree as well. But like, I'm not getting all pissed off about some of these losses anymore, just because they don't give a shit. And I know that they can just turn it on when they really, really want to. But every like 5th one of these, I'm like, man, fuck this. I get so pissed off. Last night was one of them. I was like, man, this is just some nonsense. All to just end a, what was it, 22-year losing streak, or 21 year.
That was kind of fitting though, right? It had to happen in that way, in that setting.
Christ. But yeah, so do you think OKC is just like a half step slower maybe than they were last year, taking a little step back? I mean, they've kind of been choppy now for the last month or two. Easy to see how motivation for them is like, whatever, we're still going to be the 1 seed for sure. Jalen Williams has had a really weird injury plagued season. I'm sure they'll, you know, ramp it up in playoffs, but like, I'm not really looking at them like this unbeatable like squad anymore.
The SGA, is he out a couple weeks now too?
I don't know. They had a whole, they were playing the Spurs last night after. So I was like, let me check this one out. And they're all 5 of their starters were out. So I was like, well, on to something else. Yeah. Duck and smoke, as they say.
General soreness.
It was, yeah. So maybe he is.
I think he is out for like 2 weeks at least, and they're going to reevaluate. I can't remember what it was, but it's something though. Yeah,
and
they have
what a shame. What a shame.
Yeah. They've had some weird injuries this year, and they got off to that super hot start, and they looked even better than they did last year. But now that's kind of cooled down. They're also, the Spurs aren't in their pocket anymore either. So that kind of deflated their little historic run at the same time. So I don't know. I still think they're a pretty decent size, better than us. Not that we can't beat them. I think we still can in a 7-game series, but I do think they are the better team still by a decent amount.
Yeah, in the league, right?
Yeah,
like that's over anybody.
They're easily the best team in the league.
Yeah, we're not talking about just us versus them. Like the difference between them and the 2, whoever the 2 you would think is, like us to the 2 is, hell, we might be the 2. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like when we're playing on,
if we want to,
we're hitting on all cylinders. Yeah, so
not interested.
Like the East, we don't even really talk about it. We're good in the East.
Yeah. What about these Clippers? Everybody's favorite team trading Zubac today. Nobody knows what they're doing, but yeah, they're coming in Sunday matinee. That'll be a weird one.
Are they gearing up for a Kawhi suspension that is kind of deserved still at this point after all that offseason shit.
The aspiration. Yeah. They haven't been punished at all, but
Yeah, shocking.
I ain't tripping off of them. They're probably just planning for a
No.
quiet injury. Just like, let's just sell.
They're due. Yeah.
Let's
Especially in trade him.
Yeah, I know. He was, X. Everybody's available, but we always say, like, they don't really make the deadline isn't what it used to be. There are a lot of names that got moved. It was kind of the weirdest trades ever, and a lot of them kind of inconsequential, like AD to the Wizards, Jaren Jackson going to the Jazz. Like, what's going on here? Zubac to the Pacers. Like, what the fuck is happening right now?
My favorite trade of the day was when Eric Gordon got traded and reminded everyone that he was still in the league.
I know. I saw that.
Like, what?
Sometimes you see people like retweeting Shams and it's like, oh, this was actually something he said from like 2022. So I had to look at that. I'm like, what? Eric Gordon? I'm like, man.
Today?
That was today. Dated today. Yeah. Logged in and everything. So yeah, I think in a good spot we can, sometimes, like you said, with OKC, they're having a little more injury issues this year, which is like that just kind of over time balances out. So you sometimes you got to get a little luck on your run through the playoffs. So that's why depth again on the bench is important, just in case somebody goes down or misses a couple games in a series or something. It's a grind, man. The playoffs are like 2 fucking months long. So
it's a whole other season if you make a run.
Yeah, it really is.
So maybe our guys are thinking about that. Maybe that's why they take nights off.
I'd say it's a 200 IQ move, but we know this team's IQ is in the bottom of the fucking toilet.
in the single digits. And only going down now that Mike is away.
Now that we lost our only smart player.
Only for a minute. He's only gone for a minute.
He's on sabbatical. And it'll be interesting. I kind of want to hear, Andrew will probably ask him this, but take us through like what you did in these last couple days. Like, were you just like
weekend?
Were you still traveling like with the team? Did you have to go get your own flights? Like, I'm sure when he got traded to Chicago, the Bulls were probably like, dude, like, we don't need you on a plane tomorrow. Like, hang tight. He probably just went back to his home in Minnesota and just was like kicking it. Mm-hmm. And I'm interested to hear a little more about all that happened there, especially like it seems like he will end up here. So like that'll just be kind of funny to hear how that all unfolded, but good vibes as we, who do we got tomorrow night? Pelicans and then Clippers Sunday. It's people were speculating like, oh, the deadline is, hanging over these guys. They're not trying. It's like, guys, come on. This is the Wolves of the last 3 or 4 years. Like, it's not a deadline thing, and Jaden said as much after the game. So, but maybe just kind of new blood in the building can start getting these guys to play a little harder. But before we move to Kwesi, do you guys want to just touch on Rob a little bit more? Just like, do you have any hesitancy that he's going to go on to be a good player anywhere? Because I don't.
No, I don't really think so. I wish he would have got a little bit more opportunity than he did here. But at the same time, there's obviously stuff behind the scenes we didn't see. I'm not saying Finch is the smartest man in the room because he didn't play him, but there's something going on there that we just didn't see as fans. So I don't think he's going to be anything big. But if he is, good. He's not an enemy of mine. I'll still be cheering for him out there when I see him.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's a top 10 pick for a reason. So you'd think like there's something there. It's just like who's the coach that's going to get it out of him? If he wasn't on the Wolves, he'd probably be scoring 14 or 15 points a game playing for some real crappy team. Like, if he was just out on the Nets, like, he'd probably just be playing 30 minutes a night. That's not to say that makes him a better basketball player for a good team, but I don't know. Like Jake said, I got nothing against the guy. I wish him well.
I could just never get over the size. Like, he was just so small. I'm like, how are you ever going to be impactful at such a small, stature? And it's not like he's got any strength either. And we saw him in little stints here and there. We've seen him in summer league, and it's like, I just kept seeing the same player. Poor shot mechanics, just a slew of issues, liability on defense. I mean, it goes on and on. Like even his handle, I felt like was overrated, over dribbles. I mean, I really did not enjoy it, really anything we saw out of him. Which I'll give Tim credit for admitting to a mistake right away, rather than like letting it drag on and on and on. It's like, dude, cut your losses now and let's move forward. And yeah, I guess good luck to him if he even can crack the rotation in Chicago.
Guard City.
The one Kentucky guard, man. That's the tough part, because I think we were all pretty excited on draft night, because that trade came out of nowhere. Move up to 8 and you grab him, and I remember watching some of the highlight reels of him and being like, man, he can score the ball, but yeah, there's just the size and something else going on behind the scenes. Maybe it's just a maturity thing. I don't know.
Yeah. What are your takes on Julian Phillips? Had you ever heard of him before?
Huge
today?
Huge fan. Jaden McDaniels Jr.
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
I think he's a key piece. No.
No
sure,
idea.
we'll take him. That shows you how, like, once you get past 10 or 11, like, we got nobody. Like, we'll take a professional, I guess, like somebody down there.
He's an athletic wing that only shoots corner threes. That's about all I've heard on him. So, I mean,
Perfect.
Hey, come in here and try. He's young, so you kind of never know.
Yeah.
Change the scenery.
All right, let's move on here. We're getting to the 45-minute mark. Kwesi relieved of his duties. Jake, surprised or kind of expected?
Kind of surprised when it happened. I kind of thought it would have been like a directly after season thing, but I think seeing Drake May versus Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl kind of rubbed everybody the wrong way in the head office, and they're just like, "Yeah, no, bud, these are the two people we wanted going in, so they're in the Super Bowl now, so you're out, bud." A lot of weird stuff coming out about it too.
If they lose to like the Niners, is he still here?
Maybe he might be.
Yeah, he might be.
So I feel like, because obviously everybody wants, some people sound like wanted Sam, and then I think a lot of people wanted Drake May in the trade too, to trade up for us in that draft. And Kwesi sounded like he was the guy that didn't want to give up a lot of stuff to go make that trade. So I think that a lot of people were looking at him like, hey man, like these are the two dudes you didn't want, and now they're both playing against each other in the Super Bowl. So what does that say as a franchise to us if we let you stick around?
Yeah. It did seem surprising at the time, like you just said, the timing. He did, obviously the drafting was such a huge part of why he doesn't have a job anymore. I think we can all say, like, he's brought in some good free agents. I think, Flores, like that was him, right? And it's surprising but not surprising. I mean, you gotta draw that line in the sand and be like, hey, you didn't draft well. You just said the quarterbacks thing, and we want to win. So we'll see what that means. We'll see if a GM comes in here and wants to make a big splash for a quarterback. I don't know. That necessarily will happen, but it's going to be interesting. Everything just seems a little more interesting now, kind of going forward as to what's going to happen.
Yeah, it feels like anything is on the table at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But for Kwesi, when you take a swing on a quarterback or like plant your flag and it goes wrong in the NFL, you lose your job. Like,
yep.
Sorry, bud. And yeah, he doesn't have a track record of other successful moves really especially in the draft that he can lean on. It's like, okay, you got Grenard and Van Ginkel. That was a good little moment there for you. But like, I mean, we've got no playoff wins here in this tenure for the last handful of years. And he was the first guy to pay the price for that. And KOC might be right behind him if shit goes sideways here in 2026. And, I won't be shedding any tears for him, for KOC.
I will say, though, to the Vikings fans, I know Jake just kind of briefly mentioned some weird stuff going on. All these people need to, like, just back off and leave, like, their personal lives shit that was coming out, and something about paternity leave and stuff. Like, leave that shit alone, man. Like, there's no place for that. Like, if you want to, like, be mad at him, blame his drafts or blame, like, a bad signing or something, but, like, leave that personal shit alone. It's just ridiculous.
So yeah, that was my thought initially too. And then I saw so many players saying that was unacceptable. And I'm like, to me, that was like me not really understand. Like, I don't go to training camp. I don't know. Like, it's apparently like super critical that he be there. I would say, I would have thought, sure, if he's a player or something, maybe, but like a GM, I guess. But if you're the one here evaluating the players and deciding who stays on the roster and who doesn't, and you're gone for 2 weeks, I can see, I guess, but it rubbed a lot of players the wrong way. And then I think I saw on a pod either yesterday or I don't know when it happened, but it hit my algo recently where Aaron Jones was like, we should have kept, a lot of people were, it's easy to second guess now after the fact.
Hindsight, of course.
And then all the stuff with, right. Yeah, totally. So, I mean, he didn't say shit during the season or like easy to say now that the guy's out the door, but like, there's a lot of weird stuff going on with KOC and JJ throughout the year. And like, just kind of bottom line for me, Vikes, they need to get their fucking house in order, man. This has been a choppy, weird situation from the top down for a good year at least. And still no GM. Maybe go ahead and tackle that before the draft. Maybe a good idea. But then I saw today they hired Matt Thomas, hired as football administration consultant. Turning the ship around. We're saved.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He's just doing like data entry. No. But they announced it like it was really big. But yeah, if he can help draft, come on in, Big Tent. So we'll kind of have to see how things unfold. It's shaping up to be a pretty interesting offseason, I think, just kind of like you said before. And, we just talked about Rob, cutting your losses early. Here we are with JJ, somewhat similar position with both these organizations are kind of like, hey, we're set up to win now. So if you can't cut it, I don't know that we have the patience to, bring you along for the ride. So we'll see what Matt Thomas and company want to do.
Yeah, it sounds like Kwesi was the big flag holder for JJ McCarthy too. So if you're losing your number one man in your corner, it's going to be tough. This sounds like maybe to the other stuff that's been popping in my algorithm. I always get the tinfoil hat theories running through my stuff. So that's all. I love that stuff.
I love it.
But a lot of it was like going into this offseason too. Like, okay, do we start planning to make that big trade for like a Joe Burrow or a Herbert or anybody like that? And Kwesi's probably like, no, I don't want to do that. Then like, well, then hit the road, bud, because we got other stuff going on. Maybe he's trying to double down on JJ and everybody's ready to move on or something. I don't know. There's that weird report too that we almost had like a trade to Oakland for JJ at the beginning of the season. So I don't know where that all came from too. Is just so many weird little things that's been popping up and showing out here. It's real reminiscent of like when Mike Zimmer was here, and there's like everything looked fine for like the whole time he was here, but as soon as he left, it turned out like the entire organization was just a giant shit show, and he was just a fear mongering like warlord that just ran over the whole Vikings.
Right.
And we had no idea that all this was going on behind the scenes, and everybody hated him. So I don't know, man. Maybe some more comes out, but I think it's gonna be a lot more interesting of an offseason than we thought it was going to be 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and we say it's like hindsight, and that is for sure accurate, but NFL, it's kind of like military where it's like, you know what, when everyone's here, like don't go over anybody's head, keep shit in house. And I can respect that and just try to minimize the circus. But once someone's gone, then it's like shit's bound to leak out, especially when Aaron Jones, I guess, is he even technically on the team at this point, right? So it's like,
I don't think so.
Things are going to come out eventually, and you can't keep a lid on the goings on for forever. So, and does it really even surprise you? We knew something was going on. There was definitely we've got a chunk of people wanting Darnold, and we've got a bunch of other people that want to go the cheap quarterback, of the future, build out the rest of the roster, San Francisco 49ers style path forward. And yeah, that works if you draft the right guy. But it's like we weren't. I mean, what was JJ, the fifth quarterback off the board in that top 15? So we'll see. He started to show a little bit more, I guess, at the end, but I don't know. You don't want to just punt another season because how much patience is Jefferson going to continue to show? He's really said everything that he should say, but man, does he have to be pissed watching JSN potentially be offensive player of the year, with Sam on the other end. It's
Sam, right?
Should have been me. All right, gang. That's good for Vikes talk for now. We'll stay abreast of what's going on with that squad and that shit show. But let's get the one and done out of the way. Jake, do you have the documents on file?
I got the documents pulled up. The Excel sheet is fired up. Yes.
Oh yeah. Read it to us.
So last week at the Farmers, we had a Decky T11, got 193,000 out of him. Moved us up to 66th place out of 110. So we moved up 22 spots from last week. Pretty decent. Could have been a little better, but we'll take it. And then this week, we ended up going with Sahith Thigala. He is, I think, one under right now. I think he bogeyed 17 and 18, which is
classic.
Perfect. Sweet. Love that. So we'll see what he's doing this week so far, but it's right there at the cut line already. So that's what we got going so far. Hags is still total money leader, winner, and our tiebreak winner at the moment, if we need to. We came close this week because I think this is the most different out of the 9 guys we throw out. There's only 2 matching. So one of these weeks is going to happen where we all pick just 3 different dudes. And we're like, okay, now what?
Yeah. We might have to, before we go to a tiebreaker, maybe there's just like a quick powwow of like, does anyone want to change their mind or go back?
Can I sell you on something quick? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me sell you this pen. Another thing I might do at some point when I get super bored is, if this trend continues, start tallying up some of the strokes gain data of our guys on Sundays, because we could be 40 spots higher if anybody would show the fuck up on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, it has been a nightmare because they've all hit the ball very, very well. It's just the putting. But what did we have? Who did we have week 2? Connors and Hideki, and then someone sandwiched in between. We're not exactly picking the great putters of the tour by any means. And we're like, none of these guys can putt. It's like, yeah, they never have. What are you thinking? It's like, but maybe even a 4-footer? Anybody want to knock one of those in? Corey? Fuck you. No. Yeah, I like the Sahith pick for having I guess that would have been like the lowest probably points on our system of anyone that we took, but he would have been like 4th for me. So it's like I was right there with you guys on picking him too, and good history there. So we'll see how the lot still to go, but it's like kind of does already feel like we're kind of in money chaser mode here after one round.
My favorite thing that's going to happen is when we finally take Goddard up, because he's been thrown out a bunch and then he just misses the cut. I know. It's like, damn.
He cooked us Monday in the simulators. Took us to the cleaners. God, that was so bad. Jupiter Lynx. And you know what? We're going back at him next time.
Going right back at him.
No fear. Even. No fear on my end. But you're 100% right. Because I think we've said it either in person and text or even on the pod of like, God, we should be capitalizing on this Goddard up recent form.
Recently. Yeah.
Not yet. 2 wins out of 4, and we're like, no, dude, let's wait. Wait till he goes to Scotland. Right where we want him. All right. It's a great tournament. We were talking earlier today. It's right up there with to me, I like it more than the PGA, like the waste management.
Yeah,
like, I don't care about the PGA. Like 25 like rando club pros in this thing. Like, who cares? The waste management it's an experience. It's like a cultural event, and it's usually paired with the Super Bowl too, which I don't care about at all. So it gives you something.
PGA is, I mean, I would bet that we would all agree it's the worst of the 4 majors, but like, I like the players better. I like this tournament better. There's a bunch of tournaments that I like better than this. Anytime they play Pebble,
Sanderson, John Deere,
Sanderson, obviously
3M Open.
Yeah. Obviously, the Cognizant. Got that on the calendar. So more to come there. We'll recap where we're at next week. But yeah, Sahith, make the cut. Start with that. I mean, we'll see what happens.
There.
I think the weather's supposed to be pretty minimal the rest of the way. There's a little wind today on and off, but shout outs. Anybody got anybody to shout out before we cut her off here?
I got a couple. Live Golf also starting this weekend. My Stingers had their rebrand. I want to shout out to the Southern Guard Golf Club that we are now. So got to get some new merch.
They're not even called the Stingers?
No, they're the Southern Guard. They're some rhinos or something. Yeah, I don't know. Some South African thing.
They don't either.
Sounds tight. Looks cool. Definitely needed the rebrand. Hopefully we get back up on that podium at the end of the season. So shout out my former Stingers, Southern Guard. What's up? Let's roll.
Nice.
There's a bunch of live guys that are like pissed. They're like 72 hole tournaments. I didn't sign up for this at all. It's like, sorry to make you play golf. Like extra.
I think it was John Rahm. I think it's like, now we're getting points for world ranking, but only 10 people get it. That's ridiculous. It's like, how about your 0 that you got last year, bud? Do you just want to keep falling out of the top 100 in the world?
Yeah. Also, only 10 people get it. Aren't you one of the 10 best in live? I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. Sorry, you can't beat Danny Lee. Sorry, you don't deserve your world ranking points.
Danny, oh,
sorry,
man.
Danny Lee.
A Danny Lee drive by like no one's ever seen.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, I don't know if this is a shout out or more just I'm just gonna mention this because I've been kind of keeping tabs on Twitter just to see if like Mike re-signed during the pod because I thought that would have been pretty funny.
What up?
Chris B. Haynes. I don't know how much clout he has.
Not to be confused, Chris Haynes.
Yeah,
that was a bad Michael Jordan joke. Sorry, guys. We'll log off.
There's a lot going on Twitter right now about that the Wolves were trying to find a pathway to get LaMelo Ball, and I just got to say that if that was in the making, I'm so glad that didn't happen because, man, I feel like there would have been a pissed off podcast going on if that were the case. I don't like losing ball players on my squad, so
yeah, I probably would have stewed on it and like ended up talking myself into it. I don't know. He's another guy that like take the basketball just aside. He's always hurt. He never plays, and then on the court, he's just playing 2K out there.
Right.
Like I ain't trying to insert that into our team, dude. Like
if it was like for Julius, I probably could have talked myself into it.
I would have.
If you were giving up any of our guys for that, nah, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have. I was going to shout out the Wolves for ending the streak, but I kind of already did that. And then I usually drive a truck over Adam Silver. I kind of already did that. And Finch, too. I'm just pissed at him. Stay out of the way.
Play up on the tracks.
Play Baron J, dude. Give him the Ingles forward. Like, what are you not seeing that you don't like? Every time he's on the court, he's impacting the game in a positive way. So that's the stuff where you're like, dude, you know, looking at Rob and some of the other younger players, it's like, is it a development thing or are they not earning minutes? Blah, blah, blah. Like I'm pointing the finger at Chris because he's done is shown us that he can contribute. So I've just fucking had it with that type of shit. So like,
what a positive way to end
these
the
are
pod. I love it.
Things that just make me want him. They make me want him out of here. And then he shows up and, you know, is on the front lines fighting the Sirs and going up against OKC. And it's like, God, I can't turn my back on someone who does that, you know, fighting the war against these Sirs. But man, it's a frustrating experience night in, night out. And, you know, we're probably going to be thrown right back into what we were hoping to get rid of with the Conley stuff, him and Bones. Like we saw immediately last night how impactful Bones can be when he's just getting the minutes. And we're going to be right back into the fucking like same old shit that we just came out of. So hate to see that, but man, hopefully he'll come to his senses. He won't, but we'll dream.
Never does.
All right, gang, a nice clean hour, a little longer, but a lot of news to get to. So let's see how the trade pans out. Yeah, I mean, we got what we wanted today. So I think, and credit to Tim for knocking that thing out early this morning. We didn't have to freaking scroll My wrist is hurting, man, and that's not a jacking off thing. That's scrolling X nonstop for like a week straight with this Giannis stuff. My wrist needs a break.
Oh, Christ.
More so than ever. There's how you end a pod, Phil. You're welcome.
There
Yeah,
it
I
is.
guess so.
That's how we wrap that up on a happy note.
Yep. Sorry. Apologies to Danny Lee and his supporters, but that was my favorite moment, maybe in pod history. So for those that stayed, appreciate you guys supporting us. Look us up on all the social platforms. Give us a follow. Rate our shit. Retweet it. Follow us TikTok. Pop in there. Gram, YouTube. You know all that shit. So we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.